After this reading, I will leave connections and the details below. This will be Chapter 1, May the 4th, New Times, Eastern Han. East Han was a reflection of his former self. There used to be towers of war that sounded alarms in case of emergencies in the region. But now monuments stood 10 feet in the air and presented names of the fallen and burned. This was Mega Incident Day, where over 70,000 citizens, otherworldly alien and human, were burned from energy fires and crushed to death from falling buildings. Over 41,000 bodies were never found. The incident happened in new times of this date between the 4th and 5th of May. The Ruthven kids, or Mars' three sons, were blamed for their mishandling of this incident. Now memorials stood in various spots, and thousands stood in silence for 5 minutes. There were no speeches, just a bell that rattled like an ancient far horn 3 times. When the 5 minutes were complete, the bell rattled again, and we parted our separate ways. I dreaded this annual gathering, but knew it was necessary to help with healing our grieved spirits. I was acting governor of New Troy and knew it was pointless to leave early. Many came to talk and shake hands. Air cars flew in and out of hand, and many came from offshore to be a part of these events. I smiled as Mick Lofton made his way through the crowd. Mick was also acting governor of New Troy, and we worked hard hand in hand to maintain order. I had some fears, so I was advised by family and friends to write some of my fears down. These fears had caused me attacks of anxiety in the past. At times, I ended in the hospital for stress related symptoms. Through many wars and battles, the human race, of which I am a part of, was decimated in population and central governments. Many nations in the past had dissolved after cataclysmic events happened and the dates were deleted. And these dates were not a surety because many records have been destroyed. After the human race declined in population and as a cohesive unit, hidden otherworldly aliens, or OAs, as they were called these days, began to flex their might and a series of wars occurred. These wars ended in the new times after almost 100 years. Some said we, the humans, had won, but I beg to differ in this opinion. Our population still declined, remained near 3 billion, while OWAs continued to rise. Blewett, our earthly savior, not spiritual savior, as she liked to reiterate, claimed as long as humans remain on Earth in some form, the Earth would survive. She began her mission of opening a merge center in Blue Springs, Missouri. Blewett was a combination of Offit, who was a Polaris Vanisher human mix, and Blue, who merged with two human subjects in the new times. In time, I found out that the brother and sister who entered the alien ship was given a substance to drink. This changed their physical composition and Blue was born. Blue, now Bluette, carried a harmonic frequency that kept hitting hideous spider crabs at bay. These were termed destroyers and devoured planets when Blue could not spread compassion through sound and color. If Bluette was to die, these destroyers, which orbited our planet, would pounce and decimate the world. My main duty was to see that this would never happen. I worked as acting governor in New Troy, Missouri. This place was formerly Troy, Missouri, until the devastations or cataclysms and many surrounding population found this area to be stable. With a population of 35,958 human, 21,312 human, 14,366 Belarus, and 902 phases, this culminated in over 73,000 individuals. With so many cultures and languages in one area, there were bound to be conflicts. But strangely, we all worked together nicely, and I believe I know why. The answer was one word: Bluette. Bluette. She spent much of her days at the Merge Center in Blue Springs. The center was actually built around her fatigued body after spider crabs tried to take the planet. When they failed, she sent them on their way and the building began. After 8 years, it was still ongoing and enveloped half of Blue Springs with circle buildings of blue, green, and yellow. Each time Bluette traveled, I felt anxiety. I suspected some people wanted her dead, fearful of her ability to absorb bodies with a kiss. Technically, it was not the kiss that absorbed, but her saliva mixed with human cells caused a chain reaction that changed the human. The Merge Center helped Bluette in case she met sudden death or became so ill she was not able to hold back the destroyers. With so many blues or similar OWAs, Bluette was better able to maintain the harmonic frequency we needed to survive. I knew the Merge Center had acclimated over 29 candidates who elected to merge their cells with Bluet's blood. Candidates who were connected to a family in France land, formerly France, with the last name Blue or a derivative, were flown in minibuses and had little trouble with the merge despite nausea, double vision, headaches. Others who tried the merge and had violence in their past or had a destructive lifestyle through many sexual partners, many fears, like me, remorse, and guilt feelings, died. Others who died did not lead a destructive lifestyle through violence, sexual impropriety, or was emotionally unstable, was the formerly drug addicted. One candidate had been 20 years drug free and still died on the 31st day of the kiss. I still remember his name, Jeff Stanford. Jeff was 48 years of age when he died. He had two children and a wife named Abby. They live in a house on the hill not far from Excelsior Springs, Missouri. Jeff was very motivated to do all he could for humanity. Merge doctors did a physical makeover and found no substances that could counteract against Blewett's blood. 9 days after the kiss, Jeff began to suffer nausea, dizziness, and hallucinations. He began to act erratic, and all the doctors could do was hope for the best, because any drug intervention would have meant instant death. 22 more days, and Jeff was deceased. Abby and her two children, two girls, were inconsolable. Blewett knew stay clear of grieving families and to send messengers to console them. I had in my study room 84 candidates in picture frames on a long desk, those who attempted the kiss. This was including Lance, Offit's former partner. He was the first and the most painful. To this day, Blewett still was not able to explain why Lance died. He did have violence in his past life, but he was healed through Atlee, his deceased brother, who was able to project energy through his hands. Lance also periodically saw a counselor to talk out any issues that were not resolved in his life. He did not drink excessively or divulge in drugs or various sexual partners. Blewett once said he had a deep and hidden fear of homosexuals that was not resolved not to merge because she had male genes mixed with female genes. I suspected she was hinting that caused a schism in his psyche and he affected the merge so that he died. But the why may never be known. I continuously looked at Lance's life because he reflected me. He was a writer and did not handle anxieties and fears well. He appeared as an image of who I currently was. That was part one, not part one as in chapter one. The part is a lot larger than that. So if you enjoyed that, it would be on Google Play Books, which is connected to Apple Books and Barnes and Noble. Also, it's also connected to Amazon Books. So that's on that one. So and also Drafted Digital, which is connected to all that in a sense. And got Amazon, Drafted Digital. So those two right there, and I'll add some more in the show notes below. I like show notes instead of the details. I like show notes. That sounds much cooler. So this is Michael Lighten. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm doing right now is The Forgotten Case of Rain, and the other book is Communications and Love. So it's Michael Lighten. I'll connect you in the next audio.